It's that time once again for the Fourth Down Countdown podcast. As always, your hosts Corey and Ryan are ready to kick it off with the first down opening drive.
Hello, everybody. I'm Corey,
And I'm Ryan.
and welcome back to the Fourth Down Countdown podcast. We're so glad to have you back here for our Week 3 edition so far, and our grand plan to take over the podcast waves. Ryan, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Corey. Just happy to be here talking football with my buddy.
Oh yeah, it's always fun for us to get together these couple hours, going over the plans for the show and everything. But let's just kick it off. We're in the first down, and of course that brings along with the nickname of the week. I'm gonna let Ryan go along with this one this week. What do you got, Ryan?
Well, our nickname of the week involves tight end Julius Thomas from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I personally I like to call him Orange Julius. Orange Julius, and a lot of you people might have to think about that for a minute, but just think orange and then his first name Julius, and see if that clicks for you.
I like that one too. He did the first time he said that one was at our fantasy football drafty. He goes, I'm gonna go with orange. Who the hell's Orange? Orange Julius. Who's Julius Thomas? It took me a while, but finally it clicked, and I brought it back up to him today, and he liked it. So that's our nickname of the week.
Yeah, so we have to get a little creative. Our options are kind of limited, and we're just
And
using,
sometimes it just doesn't click in the head, like something like that could be funny or a pun. But yeah, we hope you guys are enjoying our stuff so far. We're gonna do a little bit different this week. We don't have a countdown for you. We will resume that next week, but we're gonna take it a little easy this week, and I'm gonna quiz Mr. Coach Ryan here on. See, we're gonna just show you folks just how damn smart he can be at sometimes. It amazes me too. But yeah, I'm gonna quiz him on a couple things, but everything else is gonna be about the same. We're gonna get down to the news and notes, our predictions, all that good stuff. And we just hope you guys enjoy it. So, Mr. Announcer Man, I think it's time to go to the second down.
The running backs tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That's your news, notes, and predictions here with the second down.
Yes, 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 you heard it is time for the second down. It's time to give you some news notes and predictions. I'm going to start off with some news notes, and Ryan's going to chime in when he feels it's worthy of his voice. Kicking off the weekend, a surprising move. Seattle released Christine Michael. And a not so surprising move, later that day, Green Bay claimed him. So what do you think about that, Ryan?
I'm not sure quite why Seattle decided to drop him. It sounds like the Seahawks and Michael didn't have the best of relationship, but obviously Green Bay needs all the help they can get in their backfield. So why not try your hand at somebody who might,
And he's been proven this year that he can get it done when he's healthy and ready to go. So maybe it's time to turn things around in Green Bay, but who knows? Moving on to our last week's nickname of the week, Mr. Shit Kicker Blair Walsh was actually released. Dear God, it's been a hard season for him, Ryan.
And poor Blair Walsh reports came in on leaving the Minnesota Vikings combine or practice facility, shall we say. I heard he missed wide left and ran into a door.
He can't
That
get
poor
any
guy,
opening.
he just can't catch a break. I'm not meaning to hate on Blair Walsh. We're just all in fun, but truly he was one of the better kickers the last couple
Used
years,
to be.
and then up until that last year's playoff game against the Seahawks. That's kind of what started his downward spiral. So all jokes aside, I hope Blair Walsh has some success with the next team, but until then, we'll continue to
See where
poke
he
jabs
goes.
at him.
Yeah. Oh, good old shit kicker. And a show of faith from the Arizona Cardinals as they have signed Jerron Brown to a one-year extension, which is nice for him, who's been sitting out with an ACL injury all year that's ended his year this year. So that was nice of Arizona, showing that they got this young wide receiver core coming in after Fitzgerald moves on. into the Hall of Fame. So what do you think about that?
Again, like Corey said, Jerron Brown, one of the younger receivers for the Cardinals. I like the move. I always have to think because they have two Browns on offense. They have John Brown, who's the big deep threat and real speedy receiver, and then Jerron Brown, who I think is more of a slot threat. But nonetheless, with Fitzgerald's career, hopefully I'm a Fitzgerald fan. I hope he's got a couple years left, but if not, they have some talent at that wide receiver position to kind of fill the void a little bit.
Yeah, I believe Jerron Brown originally, when they drafted him or signed him, he was supposed to be, mostly a special team specialist. But so it's starting to seem like he's starting to transition into not just that one role. So it's nice to see Arizona showing a little bit of faith in their guys.
Yes, sir.
But we're gonna move on to a little thing. I'm gonna get Coach Ryan's opinion on this. It's getting to the point in the season where you look at the records, and some GMs and presidents are happy at what they see, like Jerry Jones, and some others that are not too happy at what they're seeing. So I'm gonna ask you, Ryan, if they're on the hot seat or the not seat. So let me know. In Chicago, John Fox, what do you think?
I'd have to say John Fox is on the hot seat. I feel terrible because there's not much you can do when your quarterback is Jay Cutler. But nonetheless, he's been there for a couple of years and hasn't done much of anything. So I'd have to say Fox is on the hot seat.
All right, let's move on to another one in that division. Mr. Mike McCarthy of Green Bay. His Packers right now sitting at 4-5. What do you think of Mr. McCarthy?
I don't think McCarthy's on the hot seat quite yet. I don't think you can point, all the fingers in his direction quite yet. Green Bay's had a tough season, but until they start having, season after season of this kind of caliber, I don't foresee him being on the hot seat.
So to you, would you say a coach's past success could help a coach, avoid losing a job? Saying, hey, I've won you many things in my past. Do you think that would help or hurt a coach at this point?
Well, I guess a lot for the organization when they're kind of thinking about it is, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure how past things would impact it, but again, I don't. Green Bay has had a subpar year, but I don't think it's to the point where they're thinking about firing the guy who's brought them so much success in the past.
All right, let's move to San Francisco and Chip Kelly, your favorite coach of all time.
Oh boy,
don't be biased, please.
Do I love this man, Chip Kelly? Again, it's his first. I think he should be fired. I think he should go back to college and what he thinks he knows, or how to coach or whatnot. But he's only been in the San Francisco program for one season, so I see them maybe giving him another year or two to try to turn it around. But me personally, I think he should just, go back to college and never show his face to the NFL again.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, what is your percentage, 20-80, 50-50 of the players on the field and the coach being responsible for the performance of an entire team? What is your breakdown on that?
It doesn't
on the spot, right?
It doesn't seem like Chip Kelly has.
I'm just saying any team, but I mean, like for me, I would say, it'd be mostly like 70-30 towards the players. They're the ones on the field competing. The coach is there to give them the plays. I mean, unless every play is, hey, coach, we just did 16 blitzes in a row. I think they know what we're gonna do. Something like that. But do you put a lot of pressure onto a coach because he's not the one actually executing the plays themselves? What do you think?
No, I think the coach a lot of times is the scapegoats where you really have nobody else to blame. I mean, you're not going to blame your franchise player and say, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, one of those guys. So more times than not, it's more times the coach that gets the exit rather than, the franchise player.
So he gets the shitty end of the stick most of the time?
Yes.
All right, so let's move on from San Francisco. Let's go to We're gonna go down to Arizona in the same Bruce Arians. What do you think? He's 4-4 right now. 4-4-1. Sorry, there's so many ties in the league nowadays. But what do you think? He was supposed to come into the season and kind of there wasn't really a clear cut winner in that division, and he's starting to just let it all slip away with a team that looked great last year. What do you think?
Again, like the Mike McCarthy, for everything Arians has done for that organization, bringing them back to relevance, I don't think one bad season so far is enough to give him the boot. I really like what he's done with the program. I think he's kind of united that locker room, and they haven't played like it this season, but I always hope for the Arizona that was in before the NFC Championship game, before they didn't show up last year. But I still believe they have the talent and the ability to be that team again this year.
All right, sounds good. We're gonna go to the AFC South. Just so you guys don't ask us later, going, where's Hugh Jackson? Where's the Cleveland Browns? That's just they're off on their own little planet of non-relevance right now. These are teams that might not fire a person or. That's on the cusp of firing.
Well, Corey, on that topic, did you want to tell us about that joke about that Division II college football team that decided?
It's not a joke, man. The NCAA, they reported that a Division II college football team has been paying all of their players millions of dollars. The investigation has begun into the Browns of Cleveland. Yeah, we saw that one. I love that one. I started reading it and I was like, oh, really? Oh man! And I get to the bottom where it's a picture of the Browns on the field, and oh damn. But we're gonna go to the AFC South with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are sitting at 2-7 in a very terrible division. What do you think of Mr. Gus Bradley losing his job possibly?
I think it's probably the right move. I think it's time for the Jaguars to hear a new voice. I like Gus Bradley, and he did okay for a couple seasons, but Jacksonville they were one of the teams, along with Oakland, that I thought would be a surprise this year, and it's just been...
Well, one of them was a surprise.
One of them was a surprise. Oakland sitting at 7-2, and the best that team has looked in years, but again, I thought Jacksonville would kind of have a comeback season and be one of those teams that shock NFL fans. But
shock the world, baby. Shock the world.
It's been just the opposite. So I see Gus getting fired this year.
All right, we got one fire so far. And our last one of the day, everybody thought they were going to do good. The losers in the Super Bowl, but doing horrible this year, sitting at 3-6. Carolina, what do you think of Ron Rivera's job? Is it safe, or should he start feeling the heat a little bit?
I think he's safe. I think Riverboat Ron will bring back the Panthers. Again, not starting out, having a very good start to the season, but again, a coach of the year candidate, I believe 2 years ago. Maybe I think Arians was this past year, but 2 years ago. And he's again a coach that brought that team back to relevance. So again, with most of these, in my opinion, I don't think one bad season, kind of points the finger at a coach and saying he needs to be fired. I think it'll take a couple more seasons of this caliber to really send him out.
All right. With that, it's time for our predictions of the week. Are you ready, Mr. Ryan, to lose?
No, not quite. We differ on it. Looks like 3 games this week, but we'll start off with our Thursday night game. We have the New Orleans Saints at the Panthers.
All right. I still don't like the Panthers at all. I think Drew Brees always has a 300-yard passing game ready every time he goes out there, so I'm going to go with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints.
I'm also going to go with Drew Brees in that high-powered offense. It just seems like Drew Brees is like a fine wine. He just gets better with age, and he's got a young wide receiving core that with Brandon Cooks and
Michael Thomas,
Willie Snead, Michael Thomas. So I like the veteran quarterback in that wide receiver unit, and then you got Mark Ingram on the ground, who has never been one of the best running backs, but I think he's above average, and
He can get the job done.
he's got the trucking and stuff to make guys not want to come back his way again. So I'm going to take the Saints as well.
All right, let's move on. We've got the Ravens are going to Dallas to see the Cowboys. What do you think?
I'm going to stay on the bandwagon with the Cowboys. I think one of the best moves was Tony Romo getting injured and giving Dak his shot, much like Drew Bledsoe going down, and that's how Tom Brady was born. So I think you don't mess with perfection here. I think Dak and Ezekiel Elliott are carrying that team on their back, and I don't see things being any different this week.
I agree. I think Dallas is going to have an easy time. I'm going to look at Baltimore with what I'm talking about. Baltimore's defense isn't what it used to be, and its offense. I hate to say it, but Joe Flacco is, in my opinion, always been inconsistent. I can never see him putting down, a 6-game, 7-game stretch of just pure magnificence. But I think Baltimore is on the decline, and it's looking like Dallas is on the up climb. So, yes, I got the Cowboys winning.
Well, next up we have the Steelers at the Browns. Who are you rolling with?
Well, I'm not going to shock you. I'll tell you that much. Pittsburgh might have gotten their butts whooped by Dallas and Ezekiel Elliott parting the Red Sea as he went through those defenders, but it's hard to say that Cleveland's going to win a game this year. I mean, I can't see anyone as worse. I'd love to see Cleveland and Chicago go at it, see who would fumble the ball in 3 plays in a row or something like that. Yeah. But I got Pittsburgh.
Yep, I'll take Pittsburgh as well. Next up, we have the Jaguars at Detroit.
I've got Detroit winning at home. They're getting ready for their Thanksgiving game next week, but Jacksonville just they might have some kind of offense coming up with Bortles and Robinson and all that, but I just don't see any defense or anything like that. Like you said, they're on the hot seat, and they're in a terrible division. But I just got Detroit. They're picking up the scraps of what Minnesota used to be this year. So I could see them going all the way to the playoffs. Not all the way to the Super Bowl, but the playoffs. What do you think?
Yeah, I have Detroit easily as well. I think they'll end up winning the NFC North this year over both Green Bay and Minnesota, who have seemed, they're not themselves as of late. And then, again, Jacksonville, we talked about how inconsistent they've been. So I think Detroit will have a field day against the Jaguars.
All right, and speaking of the AFC South being a terrible division, we've got the 5-5 Titans at the 4-5 Colts. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Titans. They that game I was watching against Green Bay, they really look like a force to be reckoned with. Marcus Mariota, DeMarco Murray, and Derrick Henry, I think, probably arguably one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. I think Tennessee's going to come on strong the second half of the season.
I agree. I've got Tennessee rolling over Colts at home pretty easily. Moving on, we've got your Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. Who do you got?
This was really a toss-up game for me because both teams have been mediocre this year. But in the end, Buffalo's defense is better than Cincinnati's. Then again, Cincinnati's offense is better than Buffalo. So I think it'll be a close game, but I have the Bills coming out on top. It'll probably be, I'd guess, probably at least a field goal or touchdown game. I don't think it'll be a wide spread. I think it'll probably be less than 7 points.
All right, I agree with you, and I think it'll be a low-scoring game, maybe a 10-7 or something like that. But I have Buffalo prevailing in the end as well. You're up next.
All right, looks like we have the Buccaneers at the Chiefs.
All right, we've gone to the best division of the league, AFC West, where 3 teams are 7 wins or 2 to 3 losses, and Kansas City being one of that. And I think they're going to continue it at home against Tampa Bay team that just can't figure it out. I think right now they've got on all cylinders and they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I too am going to take Kansas City again. The best division in football this year. I see the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders all making the playoffs in the AFC seedings. So that'll be interesting.
Yep.
Um,
All right, now we've got those darn Chicago Bears, and they're going to the used to be Meadowlands, MetLife Stadium, and seeing the New York Giants. Who do you got?
well, again, like Corey said, I'd love to see Bears versus Browns game and see just who would come out on top on that one. I'm going to take the Giants easily. I think next to the Browns, the Bears are the worst team in football. So I'll easily take the Giants on that one.
Okay, next we have.
Who do you have, Corey? Do you have the Bears?
I didn't let you know who I thought was going to win and lose. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that
You're going to take the Bears, aren't you?
I'm going to take the Giants.
Okay.
The Giants are probably right now they're pretty mediocre, but that's not saying much when you're facing off with Jay Cutler and the Bears. So I'm going to go with the Giants.
Well, it looks like our next matchup is the Cardinals at the Vikings. Who you got, Corey?
This is one of the ones we differ on, and I believe that Minnesota is actually going to pull one out of their butts. Arizona is just looking a little sketchy on the defensive side of the ball. But it's a toss-up. Any team could win, but I'm just going to guess. I'm guessing Minnesota is going to pull this one out.
And I'll go on the other side there. I'm going to take Arizona again. This was kind of, two teams that have struggled as of late. I like Arizona. Being the team that they were last year, I think they'd get their act together sometime this year. So I'm going to take the Cardinals at the Vikings.
All right.
Next up, we have the Dolphins at the Rams.
All right, another one we differ on. I'm going to go with the LA Rams at home because both of these teams are pretty trashy. I know you'll probably say something about Jay Ajayi giving some life to the offense, but I just can see LA winning at home. What do you think?
I think the Rams are pretty one-dimensional. You see it. You've seen it every game this year. The opposing team just stacks the box and stops Todd Gurley. So when the Rams are one-dimensional and you can take Todd Gurley away, I think it's a pretty soundproof measure for success. So I'm going to take the Dolphins on this one.
Also, I should say that I'm hoping Jared Goff does pretty good in his first start. So we'll see this week if he can get it done. Moving on, we have a pretty easy choice for both of us. We've got the Patriots hopefully sacrificing the 49ers in San Francisco. I've got New England. Who you got?
I too have New England. That's another.
It's pretty easy.
It's a pretty unanimous.
No explanation.
Unanimous decision. Well, we'll move on to the next one.
Yep.
We have the Eagles at the Seahawks.
It's starting to look like the Legion of Boom and the 12th Man are running wild yet again. So I'm picking Seattle. Hopefully the bandwagon isn't too full and some people can still jump on. Oh, I was a fan of them the whole time. The whole time they were crapping out on the field last year. They weren't, but I was still a fan.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks as well. I think any Philadelphia wide receiver in their right mind is going to stay away from Earl Thomas after he punctured Gronk's lungs. So, I think the Legion of Boom is back on the rise, and they're one of the top teams in the NFC right now.
They're looking like the Super Bowl champ, or the team that went to the Super Bowl twice. And Russell Wilson's starting to look like his playoff self again.
And they're doing it without Skittles, Marshawn Lynch.
And Christine Michael.
Yeah, and Christine Michael.
But they're getting Thomas Rawls back. Maybe that'll be something else they can use because their running game hasn't been too and I would know I've been trying to use every running back they've got in fantasy and I've been sucking it up. Let's move on to Sunday night.
We have the Packers at the Redskins.
All right, I'm gonna surprise you maybe because of how Washington, has been in the past, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from him this year. Kirk Cousins, I really think he's very underrated. He can be spotchy as well, throw me a pick, throw me a touchdown. But I've got the Redskins winning at home.
I'm actually going to switch this on the fly, folks. I had Green Bay. I too, I guess I like what?
What?
I like what I've seen from Washington as well this year, and
I convinced him, people.
He did. I changed my mind on the fly here. I'm gonna go with the Redskins as well, I guess.
Oh my!
And last but not least, we have our Monday night game: the Texans at the Raiders.
All right, I've got the Raiders winning at home. They're looking like one of the best teams in the league, and Houston's looking like buyer's remorse on Brock Osweiler.
Although they are 6-3, some may argue they're the worst. They're the best worst 6-3 team out there.
Try to say that fast.
I'm also going to go with the Oakland Raiders. I'm very impressed with what I've seen this season, and they've definitely proven they're one of the top teams in the NFL this year.
All right, before we end this part, I'm going to ask you, Ryan, who do you think? What do you think is going to be the game of the week? What's the one that's going to give us the most, aw shucks moments and might surprise you?
Oh, give me a second here.
All right, I'm gonna go first since I put you on the spot right there. I think our game of the week will be yet again the Sunday night game, Green Bay and Washington. I think they're two teams trying to prove that they're not, losers at this point in the season, and they're trying to right the ship for Green Bay, and Washington just showing that they're a real team now, finally. So I'm gonna pick them as the game of the week. What do you got?
I'm going to pick, and this may surprise a lot of you, I'm going to pick the Cardinals at the Vikings. Again, I think it'll be a high-scoring game with both defenses kind of struggling as of late, but I think that'll be a shocking best game of the week.
All right, that's awesome. Now with that, we're going to go to the third down. We're going to quiz Coach Ryan, see if we can stump him on the fly. Up to you, Mr. Announcer Man.
These guys must be getting desperate, for ratings that is, because it's time for some Hail Mary trivia on this week's Third Down. Now let's see what Coach Corey has in store for Coach Ryan.
All right, you heard it, folks. We're ready to give Coach Ryan a chance to prove himself as a football guru. We've got 2 quizzes for him with 10 questions each. He has not seen or know what the quizzes are or any of the answer. Well, hopefully he knows the answers. You know what I mean. But the first one we're going to do, I call the game Back Me Up. So according to a website, the NFL website, I went and I found us some starters. These are all offensive starters. So I went and found the starter. I want you to name their backup. Are you ready, Mr. Coach?
I'll give it my best shot. I'm not as confident
as I am in you,
as you are in me, but nonetheless, I'll do my best here.
And to give some background to this little game, at least this one, at the beginning of the season, we were looking at, we were trying to come up with a fantasy draft strategy, try to help each other out, and we were sitting there looking through the books, and Ryan goes, "Here, quiz me. Now, I'm going to name off the starters at these positions." And he did damn pretty good. I think he missed maybe 3 or 1 in particular. I remember it was like a third or second wide receiver for the Dolphins. That was how good he was doing, folks. So I'm going to see if he knows the guys that back up the guys he knows usually. So we're going to, like I said, these are out of 10. So I'm going to keep track of how many he gets right. So are you ready?
We'll give it my best.
All right, number 1. From Detroit, who is Matt Stafford's backup?
I believe his backup this year is Kellen Moore.
No.
No?
I'll give you another. I'll give you 2 shots.
Oh.
No pressure.
Is it Dan Orlovsky?
Correct.
Okay.
There you go. One down, 9 to go. All right, we're gonna go. Number 2 is our nickname of the week, Orange Julius. Who's his backup in Jacksonville at tight end?
That would be Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah, right out of the park, buddy. All right, this one's I'm gonna if you can name either 2 or all of them, probably not all of them. The wide receiving core in Oakland got Amari Cooper and Crabtree. Can you name at least one of the backups?
There's Seth Roberts.
Correct. There's two more.
And
I'll give you extra brownie points for
brownie points.
if you can name the other two that are named in the depth chart behind these guys.
Oh, there's Mari Cooper, Michael Crabtree, Seth Roberts. Oh, Lordy. Is Aldrick Robinson one?
No.
No. Well, I'm letting you down, buddy. I'm not.
Oh, it's all good. You got one of them, so I'm giving it to you. You're 3 for 3 so far. The other two are Andre Holmes and Johnny Holton.
Okay, I knew Andre Holmes. I didn't know the last one.
All right. We're going to go to San Diego. Mr. Philip Rivers. Who's his backup?
Kellen Clemens.
You got it again.
Another ageless wonder. I didn't even know he was still in the
league.
He's one of those that'll be a backup his entire career and never. He just gets paid to sit on the bench. He's Philip Rivers bench warmer.
Yeah, Philip Rivers probably up there in consecutive starts behind Eli Manning, probably.
Yep.
This one surprised me. It probably doesn't surprise you at all that this guy is a backup. But Jordan Reed, the tight end in Washington, who's his backup?
Good old Vernon Davis.
Another ageless wonder.
That's Corey and I's running joke. Any player that's been in the league for a while that's a little bit older,
the true one's not even in football. In our ageless wonder joke, the number one overall ageless wonder is Vinny Carter.
Oh yeah,
in NBA, we love Vinny Carter. He can still do it.
Yeah, Vinny Carter is the true definition of an ageless wonder.
Oh yeah,
but that's our running joke here on the fourth down.
So if you hear the ageless wonder, you're part of the joke too now. Let's move on. You're 5 for 5 already, and we're gonna move into the New York Jets system. We know Matt Forte starts at running back. Can you name one of the two backup running backs?
Oh, it is Bilal Powell.
Yes. Can you name the other one? I think you know him. Come on, you got it. I can see it.
All I can think of is Bilal Powell.
All right. Former guy from Buffalo, went down to New Orleans, got cut. C.J. Spiller.
Oh, good old C.J. Spiller.
All right, now we're going to go to your team.
Oh, well, I mean this.
All right, we're going to do some more running backs. We know McCoy is the starter in Buffalo. Can you name at least two of the three behind him?
Yes, sir. We got.
Can you name all three?
Another ageless wonder in Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
We have Mike Gillislee.
Yeah. One more.
Jerome Felton's the fullback, but I don't know if you'd count him as a running back.
If not, you've already,
I'm trying to think. All I ever see is McCoy, Bush, Gillislee, and is Boobie Dixon still there? No, Boobie Dixon.
No boobies in Buffalo.
Oh.
All right, I'll give it to you. Jonathan Williams.
Okay.
So 7 for 7 so far. Now we're going to go to my team, the Atlanta Falcons. We already know the GOAT, the greatest of all time right now, Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu at wide receiver. Can you name at least two of the four backup wide receivers in Atlanta?
Taylor Gabriel.
Correct.
Eric Weems.
Correct. Can you name two of them?
Let's see, two more. Aldrick Robinson.
Yes. You said that name earlier. I was going to see if you could bring it back. Man.
And is another ageless wonder, Devin Hester, still there?
No, he got cut.
No, Devin Hester.
I remember that.
Shoot, other than the tight ends, I think I told you all I know.
All right, there's one more. You did 3 of the 4, so you're still kicking ass like usual. Justin Hardy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't get the ball that much.
Is he the rookie? I believe so.
I thought he was drafted last year.
Okay.
It could have been last year or this year, but
all right.
All right, we're going to move on. You're at number 9 question of the week. Jermaine Gresham. Can you name one of the two backups to him?
Oh, he's the tight end for the Cardinals. I'm testing my memory here.
Mm-hmm. This is one. I thought this was the one that would stump you a little bit. Because I had no clue, and all three of them I wasn't too sure of.
There's only one name that's coming to mind, and that's Rob Hausler.
Nope.
No, he must have been cut in the. Oh lordy.
Can you do it?
Uh,
You want to come back to this one?
no, give me just a minute. I'm just trying to do it quick, so we're not letting our viewers hear.
The pitter patter of
Yes.
your brain cells dying.
Yes.
All right, as he's thinking about it, I'm going to give a little shout outs to some of our buddies out there. We got our buddy Trevor that needs a shout out. He had a birthday last week. But Trevor, if you're listening to this, you're probably not, but I'm going to say hi to you, buddy. My buddy at work, Carl, if you're listening to this is for you, buddy. You got anything for us while I'm trying to fill out the empty airwaves? Did we stump you?
You stumped me. I can't. There aren't any names coming to mind.
All right.
I'll probably want to kick myself when I hear them though.
Troy Nicholas?
Nope.
Darren Fells.
Darren Fells. There you go.
All right. And the last one, Eli Manning. Who's the guy who's never going to get a start?
Oh. Eli Manning's a tight end for the.
No. This is number 10. This is the last question.
Oh,
Who's the backup to Eli Manning?
That's good old Ryan Nassib out of
Yeah.
Syracuse.
There you go,
Go
buddy.
Cuse!
All right, you did 9 out of 10. That's pretty damn good.
I'll take a 90%.
All right, this one's going to be probably a little bit harder for you. I'm going to give you 3 chances each for your guesses. All right.
Alrighty.
We're kicking off the Running Man Challenge. I've got 10 teams that I'm going to name off to you one by one, and you've got 3 chances to guess their all-time leaders in rushing yards. You got it?
All right.
All right, let's kick off with our home state, Indiana Colts. Who's the top rusher all time for the Colts? And if you say Frank Gore, I'll smack you.
Eric Dickerson?
No,
Did he play for the Colts?
I have no idea.
Okay. For some reason, his name came up.
No, it's a little bit more modern.
Joseph Adai?
No. Go backwards.
Oh, shoot! I've already wasted 2 of my shots.
Yeah, you too. Shots.
Let's see if it was before Joseph Adai. Oh Lord.
You're gonna kick yourself when you hear it.
Yeah,
If you don't
I
get it.
definitely will because I'm sure I know it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
All right, I'll give you a little hint right now. It wasn't Marshall Faulk, but it was the guy they got with the draft pick they traded Marshall Faulk for. Will that not give you a hint? You give up?
Yeah, I give up.
Edgerrin James.
Oh Lord.
Oh. Okay, let's move on to the team that used to be near and dear to your heart, the Eagles. Who's the top rusher of all time?
I hope it's Brian Westbrook because
It's
if
not.
well,
What a pickle we've found ourselves into now.
well, guys, I thought for sure.
It's a modern name. Don't worry. I tried to keep it a little bit more. I know you don't know a lot of old-timey names.
Yeah,
so-
for you folks that are listening, I know a lot of NFL from pretty much 2000 on. I'm not real good with anything.
Yeah, we were
before.
young and before we really cared about football as much as we do now. So I'm doing a little bit more research about old-time football, but I'm trying to keep it. I know what Ryan's.
Oh, it's got to be LaShawn McCoy then.
Correct. All right, let's move on to Seattle and the Seahawks.
Marshawn Lynch?
No.
Let's see. Who was there before Marshawn? Oh, good old Sean Alexander.
Yes, the Madden curse man himself.
Oh.
At least one of them. All right, we're going to move on to probably an easy one. A newer team to the league, the Texans. Who's the all-time?
Arian Foster?
Yes, he is. All right, right, let's move on to an older team, the Dallas Cowboys. Who's the all-time rushing leader?
Emmitt Smith.
Very good. Yeah, you missed one, so that was number 5. So you got 4-1 right now. And let's move on to one of my favorite players of all time, and we're gonna go to the Chicago Bears.
It's got to be good old sweetness Walter Payton.
Oh yes, that was just so smooth watching him. We're gonna move on to a shitty team, Cleveland Browns. Who's their all-time rusher? Should be pretty easy.
It's got to be their one of the guys I think we talked about in the previous podcast, who still is a very important man to Cleveland and does a lot for that city, and that's Jim Brown.
A lot of newer fans probably think the team's named after him.
Who, ironically enough, that game I went to a couple years ago, they actually retired his jersey, which was nice being there for that ceremony. So that was nice. Pretty cool.
All right, we're going to move to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
Larry Johnson?
No.
Oh
no.
Is it Jamal Charles?
Yes, it is.
For as long as Larry Johnson played and as good as he was, I thought for sure it would have been Larry.
Nope.
All right.
You've still only got one miss, and we're going to get to the last two, who I think are going to give you a little bit of run for your money. As being from the New York area, who are the New York Giants all-time rushers? This one might give you a run for your money.
Tiki Barber?
Oh my God, I get it right in the first one. I don't know the extents of your very full functioning brain. And the last one, we're going to go to Green Bay. Who's the cheesehead rushing leader?
Ryan Grant?
No.
Was it before Ryan Grant?
When was Ryan Grant? See?
I'll
give you a hint. He played with Brett Favre. Two more guesses.
Amon Green?
Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
So out of 20 questions, Mr. Ryan, you missed 2. So 18 out of 20, that's still an A in my book, folks.
I let you guys down. That's 2 more than I should have missed. And the ones I got wrong, I knew
kicked yourself.
I knew the names, and I'm kicking myself now. But anything before 2000 is not real good for me. But football is a love of mine, and the history and just stats, everything like that. Just talking about football has always been one of my favorite things. So we're just trying to switch things up for you guys a little bit and give you a little something different.
Yeah, and let us know on Facebook or Twitter, or comment in our YouTube page or on this page if you guys like the trivia night. This is something we'll do here and there when we just work's getting to us and we just can't do the research to give you guys a full functioning countdown. But this is, I think, is a fun alternative when even when we're just burnt out on doing research and countdowns.
Yeah, and in the weeks to come, we're definitely going to test Corey and see his knowledge of the NFL here. He's got quite a shocked look to him, but
oh no.
But we're going to give him a shot. I mean, he might not be as good as Coach Ryan, but we'll tap into that brain and see what we got there.
I'm going to surprise a lot of people with how stupid I really am. But I think with that, we congratulate Coach Ryan. Golf clap. Yes. And we're going to kick it to the Mr. Announcer guy. We're going to slow it down to the 4th down.
Does our podcast entertain your ears? Well, let us know on our Facebook page, 4th Down Countdown Podcast, or leave us a tweet at 4th Down Podcast. And while you're at it, hit that like button and subscribe button here on YouTube, our new home from now. Well, I'm going to let the guys shut this one down for you. Here you go, guys.
Yes, sorry folks, but it's time to close her down with the 4th down of our podcast this week. We hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of trivia fun we had, and we'll give you a little bit more next week. Probably Coach Ryan's going to try to stump me, and it might not take him too much effort to do so. But don't forget to give us a like here on our new platform, YouTube, since Podbean was just being a butthole about, we had to pay to get in there, and we're not big enough to start paying for our product. We want to give it to you guys for free too. So right now we're right on YouTube, and we'll hopefully move up in the annals of time with our podcast. Just we got to get our groove, and we keep moving on, and just keep doing it, and hopefully you guys catch on and you start joining our bandwagon instead of Seattle's or anything like that. But yes, follow us on Twitter at Fourth Down Podcast still, and we're still at Fourth Down Countdown Podcast on Facebook, and you can always find us here on YouTube whenever you're feeling down and you need some football knowledge in your ears. We're here to oblige. Ryan, you got anything else for him?
No, just want to thank you guys for, even, spending a little bit of time, even if it's, 5 or 10 minutes to listen to what we're putting out for you guys. Once again, we're just two guys that love football, and we want to put that love out to anybody else who shares the same. So feel free to give us your feedback, comments, suggestions. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Sounds good, Ryan. Let's shut it down for the night. Thank you for all listening, and we will hopefully see you next week.